All right, folks, welcome to another edition of Fellowship of the Father. And today we're going to talk about do this and you will see miracles in your life. Do this and you will see miracles in your life. And I've been actually waiting for this particular episode. I thought it's never come, to be honest. So I've been doing a lot of other episodes, but this one, it's one of those epiphany moments in your life where you realize I've been doing this. There's this symbolic thing over here that's been telling me not to do this, and I never understood the meaning of it, and here it is. Now I fully understand this concept. So, back in, I don't know, the turn of the century, of last century, like 1900s, probably around the 1940s, you begin to see these films of these magicians, right? And these magicians would do a very particular trick. And if you know what that trick is, if you already begin to sense the vibe of where I'm going, leave something in the comments of your prediction of what I think about this particular magic trick that is symbolic. Okay? So, what is this symbolic trick? So, the magician would come out and he has a top hat on. It's a very big top hat. And he takes it and he puts it down on this table. The table is not a table. It's a table with a very thin pole supporting it. So it's a fold-away table. And the whole concept of the pole, I guess, would be so you can't begin to think that anything's in the table itself. It has to be coming out of the hat. So that's the concept there. So then this magician says abracadabra. There's a whole meaning of the word abracadabra that we'll get into in a minute. Abracadabra, poof. And maybe smoke will come out, I don't know. But at the end of the day, he grabs into this hat and he pulls out a white rabbit. Pulls out a white rabbit. And it's always a rabbit. It's maybe a dove sometimes, but for the most part, this thing is rabbit, and that's what we're talking about. What is the meaning of that? Try to write that down in your comments section. What do you think that means when someone pulls a rabbit out of their hat? And this is where it struck me. It's like, Do you remember the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, where he has the clock strapped around his neck? Like Flavor Flav, right? So he has a clock strapped around his neck. And he's all, I'm late for the important date. And he's running, and he goes down the rabbit hole, blah, blah, blah. The rabbit symbolizes frantic energy or anxious energy. So if you were to ask me what are one of your strengths, I would say I'm a great time manager. I'm a great time manager, right? I'm always concerned about being on time. I've seen people get paid very well and still be very, very late to meetings and things of that nature. I think being on time is very important when you're an employee, and it's a great thing to show your employees as an example. I want you to do this, therefore I'll do it. So you're on time. If you're constantly hyper-focused on the time, it will begin to get a little non-productive. And it will also begin to get you resentful about the people that aren't hypersensitive about time. So say you show up to a meeting 10 minutes early and you're noticing that everyone shows up 10 minutes late. That means that you've been waiting around for 20 minutes. And your mind is like, this is not fair. This is not okay. What is going on here? But it's not that being on time is a bad thing. Actually, I think it's a really good thing being on time. The hyper focus on the clock says something, though. It says something about what's going on in your psyche. And I believe what's being said is that you're a nervous wreck. You live in a state of fear. and you're always trying to catch up somehow. You're in a catch-up mode of some sort. So what does that do for you? All your direction, all your hyper focus is converted from energy into the world, and it's time to do something else, and you don't have the energy to do something else because you were hyper focused and you're worn down. So are you sure about that, Lawrence? Are you sure that's the symbology of that? Yes, I believe so. And I can point to you about a child's fable. The tortoise and the hare is the fable. And so the concept is this hare, he's kind of a know-it-all kind of guy. He just takes off, he decides he's going to race this tortoise, and they race each other. And so he takes off out the gate. He takes off as quick as he can. And the community's watching, and the tortoise just starts on his path. He just starts on his path. Just starts on his path. The rabbit thinks that the race has to be won. He's in competition with the tortoise, and he thinks he knows something that the tortoise doesn't know, so he takes off. And at the end of the day, the tortoise wins the race. The tortoise wins the race. How does the tortoise win the race? He was in last place. That's impossible. The way that he does it is the rabbit thinks he knows something. The rabbit burns his energy, and the rabbit has to take a rest. So he takes a rest, and the consistency of the tortoise pays off, because while the rabbit's resting, then the tortoise makes it across the finish line. And I just did a video about life is hard. You either pay on the front end or the back end. So think about the darting around energy, the running around energy, trying to get it all done. You can get to a point where it's taking the place of, say, pleasure. You're like a workaholic, say. What are you doing this week? I got a lot in the fire. And you're spinning your wheels, and then you burn out, and you absolutely burn out. And meanwhile, you got people going to school, and you got people studying particular things. They're focused on one thing, and they got laser focus in those areas, and they get it done. Get it done on a daily basis. Take those two people side by side, and where are they in 10 years? One is burnout. The other one is knowledgeable and has degrees, and people, quite frankly, in a lot of ways, just pay him for the degrees, and then we'll see if he's worth anything. But the hard work on the front end paid off, where the rushing on the front end doesn't pay off. It leads to destruction. It leads to burnout. It leads to dead ends. It leads to too much risk, not enough knowledge, and therefore there's the payoff's not the same. So that's something I learned last year. Just the epiphany hit me. It's like, hey, I got rabbit energy going. That's me. I am the rabbit. I used to think I was the tortoise. I'm the rabbit. I'm so quick to try to learn something. I'm so quick to try to quantify something and just get something going. Let's get something going. Let's get something, not establishing it. And so when you just slow down for a second, just slow down. You get up in the morning, and by the way, when you're 58 years old, you're going to slow down. It's not an option anymore. You're going to start slowing down. And so I get up at the base of the bed. Okay, what does this day look like? What's this day look like? All right, let's get organized. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take care of myself, go to the gym. Then I'm going to do my thinking in the gym, and then I'll organize my day. And sometimes I'll bring my iPad, and I'll schedule my day into the iPad while I'm at the gym. Say I'm on the treadmill or whatever. And that way I'm able to be more organized. I'm able to be more like the tortoise. I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to chop away at this tree. I'm just going to sit there with the axe. And I'll see you in 6 months and see what I got. Right? So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, was the tortoise and the hare concept, but more importantly, get that rabbit out of your hat. Get the franticness out of your mind. One of the things that is constantly on the mind of the believer, on the mind of the Christian is like, am I going to hell? Am I doing the right thing? Am I? And you got the little watch strapped around your neck, and you don't realize how heavy that thing is, and you're also, in a weird way, you're selling out everyone else as you're trying to make it to heaven. I got to win the race. 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 Well, you got to win. You got to run the race in such a way as to win the race, but you got to know the rules of the race. And one of the rules of the race is do not fear. Do not fear. So if you're holding anxiety, can you honestly say you're not fearing? Is there a way to take the fear and reduce it down to concern? I'm concerned. I want to get past the finish line. But I'm not gonna freak out about it. I remember there's the conversations I used to have with people when I was concerned, or more likely afraid of not going to heaven, or trying to get the pleasure of heaven, trying to be in the presence of God, who's all He is pleasure. It's just going to be amazing, and you're willing to sell out your mankind, right? You're willing to downgrade everyone around you to think that you're going to make it through the gates because these things that you're doing, right? And so life is a little more complex than that, I think. So anyway, guys, get the rabbit out of your hat. Pull that thing on out and get to it, but get to it in a sensible way. Be reasonable, be caring, be concerned, be involved. Know when not to be involved. Life is very complex. It's not simple. It's complex. It's hard. And you're only making it harder when you try to make it simple. I just need to get to right? Frantic energy. Not good, right? Anyway, this is Lawrence with Fellowship of the Father. And I hope you enjoyed this particular episode. If you did, like, share, and subscribe. Share with a friend. And I will talk to you later. Hey, if you could support us, I'd really appreciate it. It will help on the get our channel out there and grow it. And I'm looking to grow it to 1,000 subscribers. So hopefully that will be the case. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.